Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation. One of the biggest concerns today is pricing. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can pay almost half for this truck and not have to worry about depreciation. I borrowed this truck from Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. It is available for sale. Be sure to ask for Frank. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker on this truck. At the very top is the description, and this one has the titanium rushed paint. This is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause to see more. Now, base price of this truck is going to be $56,400, and then this one has the Elevation Premium Package for the options. 5.3 liter V8, max trailering, has the assist steps finished in black, bucket seats. The paint was an extra charge because of the metallic, multi-pro tailgate, and this one does have the all-terrain tires for $400. Destination comes in at $1,995 with a total price of $67,530. Here are the fuel economy numbers off to the side. A lot of people today talk about the market crashing, and obviously that will really affect the value of automobiles, right? We've actually seen a big drop in values on cars across the board because there's a lot more new car inventory, right? There's a lot of these trucks sitting as of right now, so that means that 3 years from now you don't know what this truck could be worth. Now, I will show you guys a way to help protect yourself in the event that there is a huge drop in the market in the future. So if you're looking at the Elevation, this package gives you this really nice appearance. It gives you these painted front bumpers. You also get the black wheels. And one thing I like about the GMC trucks is they do give you premium lighting standard. They are projector beam. It also does have the camera on the front end, so it's going to have the 360 camera view, front parking sensors, recovery hooks, LED fog lights, and these are 20-inch wheels with the Bridgestone Dueler tires. You did see that these were an option. And then here's a quick look at that hood too. And they do give you the black mirror caps on this truck too. You can see those fixed running boards finished in black, which looks really good on this truck too. Now on the front suspension, it is independent double wishbone. And they do add the smart key system on this truck. So if you don't like chrome, you're going to probably get the Elevation package. Blind spot monitoring is right there. They also give you a camera there. No puddle lights, however. $24-gallon fuel tank. And this does have the standard bed, or actually they call it short bed in the half-ton segment configuration. Now on the window sticker, you probably didn't notice if you didn't pause it, they do upgrade the leaves on this truck and the rear end, so it has a 9.76-inch rear end, fabric liner for the rear, which is nice. Some of the competitors don't give that to you. They also have the steps in the rear bumper. On this Elevation, it does have incandescent bulbs for the tail lights. And I'm not sure if someone can answer the question, because I haven't done a lot of videos on the Elevation trims for these half tons. Did 2025 bring a option to have this tailgate for this trim level? That could be possible. I thought that every trim level except for the work truck models had, or they call it pro models, had the standard tailgate, but this one has this as an option. Class 4 hitch, and they give you the camera provisions for your trailer. Here's that rear end. It has an automatic locker with that tire. This is going to be a donut style. And they do retune those shock absorbers too for that max trailering package too. Alright, here's that tailgate. You have that 400 watts of power, bed lights, spray in. They do provide a handle here, help you get into the bed a little bit easier. And no cameras above, so you don't have one for that rear view mirror, nor do you have one for bed view. And this tailgate has a lot of different functions. Here's one of them, and of course, and if you put this back up, you have this too. Most people know that the 2.7 liter Turbo Max does come standard in the Elevation. Now, some people don't like the idea of a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but here's what I'll tell you. I towed nearly 10,000 pounds with it, and it did okay. For a 4-cylinder, it did good, but it does have 430 pound-feet of torque, so there's no sharker there. But there's no replacement for displacement. This 5.3 liter does put out 355 horsepower, which is more than the Turbo Max, but it has 383 pound-feet of torque, which is behind that 430 pound-feet of torque from the Turbo Max. All that power does go through a 10-speed transmission, and this truck, having the Max trailering, does have a 342 rear end. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. So here is the interior for this truck. I'm not going to take too much time. So this truck has a good bit of options on it. You guys saw what the MSRP was versus the base price. Now, this being an Elevation, you don't have that perforated leather seating. So you're just going to have heated seats. You still have that 10-way seat on the driver's side. Bose sound system was an option. You don't have power folding mirrors, and you only have auto up and down for the driver's side, but auto down for everything else. No seat memories right there. It does still have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. This center console is actually an option for Elevation 2. But you guys see right there, you have the wireless charger, and you do have a 120 volt power plug in here. 2 USBs right there. This truck also has the large screens. So you have a 12.3 and 13.4 on that side. Let's check out the passenger side. Storage up top. And then storage here. This sticker says you can't use this truck for a bed camper. And you guys see, you have a manually operated seat on this side. A little bit of storage, and check out that trimming right there. I won't call that wood. And then out back, nice interior. You have the seat back pockets. This one has a floor liner, 60/40 bench. You still have the storage here. You have 2 USBs down there, and they still provide the armrest out back with the cup holders. This power sliding glass was an option, has defrost right there, and it does have the lighter color roof with the darker interior. Although I will say, if you live in hotter climates, you might grow to love this too, because it does make the interior a little bit comfortable. You guys see that dual climate control, 360 camera. So now you guys have an idea of some of the features on this truck. Let's go over the pricing of this truck right now. Now, if you're looking to buy a car, most people will tell you to pay cash, right? That's the best way to buy a car. Cash is key. Now, I'm going to be that one person to tell you to think about something else. Now, before I say it, before you click off this video, you should definitely hear what I have to say here. I had the dealership pull 2 buy options for this truck. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is a purchase. If you're looking to finance this truck, most people today are going extended term. Anything over 5 years is extended terms, in my opinion. I think 5 years is the longest we should be financing a car. If you can't afford it at 5 years, you should probably not be buying the car, right? But 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, from what I've heard, is available now. Those options are available to you. Now, on this first paper I'm going to show you, I had the dealership, print this out for me. Now, they did not give this truck a discount because I wanted it to be apples and apples. So all you have here in discounts is rebates. So the dealership probably has some more margin, obviously. You can probably get the dealers to sharpen their pencil today because there's a lot more inventory. So supply has basically caught up with demand, And as a matter of fact, there's not much demand as there used to be because there's a lot of supply sitting right now. So you have a lot more opportunities to get good discounts on these trucks right now. So the first paper shows a 6-year term rate at 6.5%, and the payment with the amount financed $1183.18. Okay, I'm just gonna write that down for a second. And the total amount financed is $70,198. So with taxes should be on here at $4,724. You basically have $1,183 payment. Okay, now if you multiply that by 72 months, that's $85,188.96. That's how much you're going to basically pay once you pay all your finance charges, which is $14,990. Obviously, most people do this because it's the easiest, convenient way to buy a car, right? And I understand that. However, leasing is something I don't understand why people don't do. Now, before you click off this video, you have to hear what I have to say. This is the market to lease in, and here's why. Because of the inventory on the ground. Think about what that's going to do to long-term values for these trucks. Half-ton trucks are built a lot quicker than HD trucks for the most part. Now, with that being said, this truck today can get discounts upwards of $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Well, $10,000, $12,000 I think is what I've seen advertised. That's what you can get off on these trucks right now, right? In that ballpark. Now, obviously, if you're looking to lease buy, that does change a little bit because the rebates change, okay? So if you're looking at leasing, this is how I explain what it is. You're basically buying what you plan on using. So instead of going 6 years, you can't do that with a lease. Not with a closed-in lease at a dealership. If they have their manufacturer lease options, they are closed-in leases, and these are questions you should ask. Is it open or closed-end? And you want to know what the residual value is. You want to know and be able to understand what that is. The residual value is basically what sets the value for the car. So with the lease that's closed-in, it tells you what the truck will be worth at the end. So I'm going to show it to you here. Do you guys see where it says $41,868, 62% residual value? That is what the truck will be worth at the end of this lease. Now, you have options with this lease program. If you decide you want to buy this truck at the end of the lease, you can buy it for $41,868.60. Or if you decide you want to walk away from it, well, you have that option too. All you would have to pay is a disposition fee, and of course, if there's damage to the truck, you have to pay for that too. But normal wear and tear, it does not affect you on a lease. Now, there are some issues with leasing where if you have bald tires, that could affect you. But sometimes the dealers offer lease wear and tear protection, and it does cover stuff like that. So that's an option you have for that as well. Now, with that being said, if you take the payment on this lease, remember, these trucks are not discounted. If you take the lease payment, which is $958.31, and then multiply that by 36 months, you would have paid $34,499.16. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Well, you have to add the $41,868, and if you don't have that cash, then you have to finance that, and your finance charge would be even higher. Here's the problem with that. Most people today who are buying cars are probably buying and trading out every 3 or 4 years. Think about the negative equity that you will have and that you have to add on to the next car. Everyone has negative equity, 100%. If you didn't put any money down, if you're doing these long-term finance options, you're going to have negative equity. So you still have to factor that in too. So in 3 years, if you decide you want to trade that truck in and you have $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 of negative equity, you have to configure that in here too. So here's where leasing works. You can determine what the truck is going to be worth at the end. If you were someone who leased a truck back in 2017, 2018, look what happened when it came time for you to turn in your lease. You literally could have bought your truck and sold it for more money. Or remember what happened in 2008? If you had decided to lease a truck or an SUV, gas guzzler, back in 2006, and when your lease came due, you could walk away from the lease. This does not change. These terms do not change. They're closed in. It's a closed-in option, which means at the end of the lease, you hold the cards. You can't lose, basically. The only thing is, if you drive a lot of miles, that will affect you on this. So you can do up to 20,000 for most manufacturers. 15 is standard. They have 12,000, and then they have 10,000. And sometimes, if you look at exotic cars, they have like 3,000 mile options, 5,000 mile options. But in this case here, I think that it's safe to say that with the way the values are going for cars, this might be a good option. So as I said, I will plan on doing more videos like this. This is my first time actually explaining this. So I think that the lease option makes sense for most buyers. All you have to do is understand if is there a security deposit. That's something you have to understand. In most cases, dealers can cover that for you. You can ask them to do that as well. But definitely look at a lease and a buy option. For the amount of money that these trucks are depreciating at, and the fact that this truck in particular could get redesigned in the next year or two, this might be the better way to go, because you might be looking to buy the new GMC Sierra half-ton when it does get unveiled soon hereafter. I mean, it could be 2 years or less that we see that truck unveiled. So that way, if you lease this truck today, you don't have to worry about depreciation. You can just wait till the lease is up and then walk away from it. And then sometimes if you jump into a new lease, the dealership can cover the disposition fee, things like that, or any type of fees that are incurred. But if you're not someone who takes care of their cars, if you drive a lot of miles and you can't control that, I would just say that buying a car is a better way to go. You also have to have good credit to lease too, so you have to keep that in mind as well. So if you have bad credit, that's something else you have to consider. Lastly, there's no negative equity at the end of the lease. No negative equity. If you follow the lease terms, no negative equity. The only issues that you could have is going over the mileage, and typically it's 25 or 30 cents a mile. Sometimes it could be higher, 50 cents potentially. And you can sometimes buy the miles during the lease, but it's very rare that manufacturers allow you to do that. You just have to save the money on the side, basically. But yeah, I think that this is the option that some people should be looking at, especially for these half-ton trucks. So here are the numbers on the door, the gross axle rating, and the GWR. And then here's the payload on this truck, 1,799 pounds. And then here is the tire PSI. Now I do plan on doing another video with this truck, comparing it with a truck without the max trailering. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But let me know you guys' thoughts down below. As I said, the leasing option makes a lot of sense today on half tons because of the values, because there's so much inventory, because trade-in values aren't where they used to be at. This might be the best time to just lease something, especially if you're someone that doesn't keep a car a long time. It does make more sense. But like I said, be sure to share your thoughts down below. See you guys soon.